Good morning, everybody, and welcome to DMS 3000 News Live for Wednesday, August the 16th, 2023. Hopefully, you guys enjoying your midweek so far into this, and we're over the halfway point of August. And now, man, oh man, looking forward to many other things that we got in store for you guys today. And with that, I am your host and moderator for this one, Brandon Martin. On today's program, we will be talking about the 332nd anniversary of Yorktown, Virginia was founded. We'll talk a little bit about the 135th anniversary of the passing of Coca-Cola inventor John Pemberton. And then we'll celebrate a happy 43rd birthday to Vanessa Carlton. Then we'll have, this is an editorial for the last 15 minutes to talk about whatever I have on my mind. Then we'll have what date is today, plus headlines, sports, and other information. All that more gets started right here for Wednesday, August the 16th, 2023, which is right now episode 43 of the show. Inspectors for the Department of Homeland Security found dangerous problems in immigration detention facilities. For years, the government fought NPR's efforts to obtain its often damning reports. Why Trump's fourth indictment still won't change Republican voters' minds. The report alleges barbaric conditions in ICE detention facilities. Senate interns took selfies with all 100 senators. The suits pursued patients and their families, sometimes putting lines on homes. I know my house will never be mine. It's going to be the hospital's, said Donna Lindabury, 70, who lost her case. The deadly toll from Maui's fires has surpassed 100. Many more were injured. Others fled without their prescription drugs. Getting victims the care they need has been tough. One doctor is stepping up. Puerto Rico, the nation's sixth largest school district, is in crisis. It's both uniquely vulnerable to natural disasters and unusually ill-equipped to help children recover from them. China has seen a series of disappointing economic data this year. UBS Tao Wang explains what went wrong with the anticipated recovery after China's tough COVID restrictions and what could come next. Balancing sadness for the losses with hope about what's been saved, heritage workers are in the early stages of planning recovery and restoration efforts. Interns in Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski's office dodgily tracked down all 100 senators and took a selfie with them. Here's how they describe some of those encounters. Adrienne Drazen was on a long overseas flight with her baby and two young children. After she exited the plane, she noticed a family nearby waiting for something. Jason Musgrove has been in agony for more than a week. He's had no contact from his 69-year-old mother, who had mobility issues. who has mobility issues. She was last seen escorted out of her apartment building on August 8th. The report from the government-owned and run news agency marks North Korea's first public confirmation of the incident since 23-year-old Travis King crossed the border in July. The video is a winning combination of nostalgia, intrigue, and surrealism, and its viral ascent can tell us a lot about modern meme culture. I'm going to call the governor tomorrow. Republican Ronnie Jackson, Republican Texas, said as he shouted obscenities at a trooper during an altercation at a rodeo. Going to the movies is hot again. Thanks to the so-called Barbie boost, Barbie, Oppenheimer, and other movies continue to rev up the summer box office. But can theaters sustain the momentum? E. Dickman, out of Fulton County, alleges that former President Trump and 18 others conspired to overturn Georgia's 2020 election results. His co-defendants include big names and local officials. Temperatures will linger in the triple digits for parts of California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Montana this week, with little relief coming at night. Trump is indicted in Georgia for seeking to overturn the state's election results. DA Fani Willis, who is charging him, is no stranger to high-stakes cases and how microbes turn cabbage into kimchi. There we go. Her alleged Sean and Lay and Tochi presented him with a document establishing a conservatorship shortly after he moved in with him and said it was all for intents and purposes and adoption. The shift to electronic medical payments gave rise to a new kind of healthcare middleman who now charge 1 to 5% every time insurers pay doctors. Here's how lobbyists convinced regulators this was okay. Latinos in Texas have eclipsed non-Hispanic whites as the dominant ethnic group in the state, but the group's political power has yet to catch up. In a Jeopardy-style game at an annual DEF CON hacking convention in Las Vegas, hackers tried to get chatbots from OpenAI, Google, my goodness, and Meta to create misinformation and share harmful content. And as young adults prepare to leave blue states and head to historically black colleges in states where abortion is banned, they're getting ready to safeguard their reproductive health during college. And that is the headlines for Wednesday, August the 16th, 2023. All right, let's go ahead and go with the sports and talk about some baseball. The Brave star who lives in an aquarium. Ozzy Albies is surrounded by fish, turtles, and sharks at his Georgia home. Ozzy Albies pulls up a video on his phone, pushing it excitedly into my line of view. He's not showing me some big home run he hit or some diving play at second base. or even the time he whacked a ball so hard he tattooed his name on it. It's something he seems even happier to talk about. The clip starts off with his fingers swooshing around in a pool of fish. His, I learned, a 10,000-gallon pool of fish at a suburban Atlanta home. A chubby gray creature starts making its way over to his hand. When I call him, he always comes to me. All Albies tells me, staring, or staring at his video. You splash the water to give him the sign, like, "Hey, I'm here." Sure enough, the gray koi fish kisses Albie's finger and then swims away. Albie swishes his finger in the water again in the video, telling me this same exact fish out, out of various others in the tank will come back. Seconds later, it does. He's like, he acts like a puppy. The three-time All-Star says, "I pet him and everything." Albies first became interested in fish and fish tanks growing up in Curacao, a Dutch Caribbean baseball-loving paradise with some of the clearest waters and busiest reefs on Earth. My grandfather used to keep koi fish back in 2001, 2002, when I was a little kid. Albie said, "I always had that in my family. We always loved animals." So as soon as he settled into his own place in Marietta, Georgia, and had signed a long-term contract with the Braves, Albie's got to work getting his own tanks built around the house. It was a reminder of home 1,178 miles away. Along with the koi fish pond, Albie's has 3 tanks inside, measuring 550, 300, and 450 gallons, all fresh water. The biggest is 12 feet long, while the other 2 are 8 feet. Although he uses a local service in Marietta for construction and installation, the 26-year-old is very hands-on in the process. You can see him in clips reviewing the finished product, helping to change the water, or sometimes getting in the tank himself. If it's good enough to hold a Major League Baseball player, it should be good enough to hold its beloved sea life. Albie's tanks include turtles, various kinds of tropical fish, and along arowana, or as Ozzy says, lucky fish. You see that? That's a shark. Albie's points in a video on his phone. Freshwater shark. Right now it's 12 to 14 inches, but it can get to like 2.5 feet. A few of the fish even have names. There's Orange, a fish he rescued from the corner store when someone came in at the same time as him and wanted to get rid of it. There's Mango because excuse me, y'all. This is the color of a mango. And there's Oreo because, yes, you guessed it, it's black and white. Albie's, his wife, Andrea, and his mother-in-law all help with the feeding and maintaining of the tanks. They have added reeds, driftwood, and other underwater familiarities to make the fish feel at peace. The maintenance is a part of the experience that Albie's thoroughly enjoys. It's relaxing. Actually, he told me it's not a hard thing to do. It's easy. But Albie's, of course, has another very full-time job He is a two-time Silver Slugger on a first-place Braves team. He's on the road for much of the year. How can he check on his aquatic buddies back in Georgia? How can he make sure everything is going okay? I have a Ring camera. Albies laughed. Yes, before or after a game, Albies will check a doorbell camera on his phone to see how things are faring under his homemade seat. Even though he knows a lot already, Albies would like to continue furthering his knowledge on preserving tanks and learning about marine life. Luckily, one of the best places for that is nearby, the world-renowned Georgia Aquarium. I've been there 3 times already, Albie said. Maybe on an off day. I'll try to get something where they explain to me how to do filtration. I'm planning a date to do a behind-the-scenes tour. What about adding more tanks to his collection? The second baseman has no immediate plans to add on. Right now, it seems to serve as a comfort way from his busy life, his own little island creation he can escape to during MLB's rigorous 162-game grind. Still, maybe someday. I'm keeping it right here, he told me, but maybe when I'm finished with baseball completely, I'll build something bigger. And that is basically Matt Monaghan, for a writer for MLB.com. We'll go ahead and go over the scores right now for yesterday. There we go. We have the Guardians beating the Reds 3-0. We have the Astros beating the Marlins 6-5. The Red Sox beating the Nationals 5-4. The Blue Jays beating the Phillies 2-1. The Pirates beating the Mets 7-4. We have the Braves beating the Yankees 5-0. And I'll go ahead and say it. Go! Yankees lose. Twins beating the Tigers 5-3. The Cardinals beating the Athletics 6-2. The Rangers still continue to be on fire, 7-3, beating the Angels. The Chicago White Sox beating the Chicago Cubs in the Battle of Chicago 5-3. We have the Seattle Mariners beating the Royals 10-8 in the final 10 innings. Then we have the Diamondbacks beating the Rockies 8-5. The Padres beating the Orioles 10-3. And the Giants beating the Rays 7-0. And then we have the Dodgers beating the Brewers 6-2. That's basically the scores. Now let's take a look at the standings now. We'll look at the American League. We'll start off in the East as the Orioles still ahead, 3 games ahead of the Rays. Then you got the Blue Jays. Then the Red Sox. And, not surprising, the New York Yankees. We have the Minnesota Twins in the AL Central, leading 4.5 games ahead of the Guardians. Then you got the Detroit Tigers, the Chicago White Sox, and the Kansas City Royals. We have the Texas Rangers leading a 3.5 game lead over the Astros. Mariners third, Angels fourth, and the Athletics fifth. Now we move on to the National League. We have the Atlanta Braves leading a 12.5 game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. Then the Marlins third, Mets fourth, and Nationals fifth. The Brewers have a 3.5 game lead over both the Cubs and the Reds, are currently tied. Then you got the Pirates and then the Cardinals. The Los Angeles Dodgers, we look at the NL West, and that was the last one, but that was basically the NL Central. Now the NL West, basically National League itself. The Dodgers have a 9 game lead over the San Francisco Giants. Then the Diamondbacks third, Padres fourth, and the Rockies fifth. Take a look at the wild card standings now. Rays and Astros got that wild card spot locked right for now. Blue Jays are currently in the last of the wild card spot. Then we have the Mariners not too far behind at 2 games. Then Red Sox 1 game behind the Mariners. Then the Yankees 3.5 games behind their rival, the Red Sox. Angels 1.5 game behind the Yankees. The Guardians not too far behind of the Angels. Tigers, then the White Sox, the Royals, and the Athletics. And we go to the National League. Already currently locked in, though, are the Philadelphia Phillies and the San Francisco Giants. Then the Marlins have the current last spot of the wild card. And not too far behind are the Cubs and Reds, currently tied at 1 game behind the Marlins. Then not too far, 1.5 game behind both the Reds and the Cubs and the Reds. Excuse me, I was about to say the Marlins, but that's what I meant. Are the Arizona Diamondbacks, then the Padres, the Pirates, Cardinals, Mets, Nationals, and Rockies. And that is it for the standings for the MLB. And we'll go ahead and take our first commercial break. And when we come back, we'll talk about what day is today. And the 332nd anniversary of Yorktown, Virginia was founded. And we'll get to do both of them right after this.
Before you slide into that satin, before you slip into that silk, before you put on anything at all, caress. Before you dress, Caress isn't a soap, it's the body bar with bath oil. Caress can't dry your skin the way soap can. Gives you the soft you just can't get from soap. After all, shouldn't your skin be softer than anything that goes next to it? Before you dress, Caress.
If you've got a good trade, chances are you've already got a good job. If you haven't, better get one. Auto mechanic. Now there's a good trade. At Apex Tech, we've got a 6-month training program for auto mechanics. It's thorough because we work you hard. With a professional mechanic working alongside you, you tear down an engine and put it back together again, and do the same with the transmission. Carburetors, fuel injection, computer command control, electrical chassis, alignment, brakes, steering. It's all in your training program. When you complete your training, and we recommend you for a job, you've got your own set of professional tools. Give us a call. Say when you can come in to look over the shops and see what financial assistance toward your training you're entitled to from the government. Now, I can't phone you. You have to take the first step. Call 645-3300. Our switchboard is open now. 645-3300.
the Nature Valley Granola Bar. Such simple sweetness. Such enjoyable crunch. Once you come to know this wonderfully wholesome taste, you realize a Nature Valley granola bar could be the candy bar nature intended.
Oh, you're looking at a broken peanut. All I ever wanted was to get into a Fifth Avenue candy bar so I can be irresistible. But they don't want peanuts. They want peanut butter. Crunchy layer after layer of peanut butter smothered in Hershey's pure milk chocolate. Oh, it'll be a grind, but I'm gonna do it. After all, it's Hershey, it's Fifth Avenue, it's everything it's cracked up to be. And if they won't have me, I'm gonna throw myself to the elephants.
And I've heard that being sexy is all in the mind. But I think that it's somewhere else.
Jovan Musk.
Staying sexy is an all-day job. And for some of us, the end of the day is just the beginning.
Jovan Musk, Evening Edition. We help American men stay sexy.
Tired of losing battle after battle in the sky, the Autobots create the ultimate robot jet, Jetfire. But the evil Decepticons have a secret new weapon, Shockwave.
Shockwave will stop them!
Sold separately from Hasbro.
The bakers are here.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon and sugar, we're baking up a bunch. We're cinnamon and sugar shakers.
The bakers.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch bakers.
We make Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal taste,
like homemade.
Part of this nutritious breakfast.
Less sugar than I thought.
Making homemade taste.
I like it.
Into Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
And we welcome you back to DMS 3000 News Live. And I am your host, as always, Brennan Martin. For those who didn't know in the beginning intro about that, but it's all good. And a good morning to you there, Diggs BTW7. Hopefully your morning is going good. And now let's go ahead and take a look at what day is today. And we have 16 holidays for this day. Here we go. Take a look at National Roller Coaster Day. At any amusement park, it has the highest wow factor. National Rum Day. We pay tribute to the currency of the Caribbean as we celebrate National Rum Day. National Tell a Joke Day. A horse walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Why the long face?" National Work from Home for Wellness Day. National Work from Home for Wellness Day on August 16th is the chance to discover the positive impact working from home can have on your well-being. Bennington Battle Day. This Bennington Battle Day, let the rich history of this epic battle enthrall you. Eka People's Day. We've got some amazing ideas to celebrate Eka People's Day, to scroll down and check them out. Juvederm Day. On Juvederm Day, discover why the Juvederm collection of fillers is the U.S. #1 chosen collection. National Airborne Day. We recognize the past, present, and future contributions of American airborne troops. National Authenticity Day. Authenticity is not needing external approval to feel good about your actions. National Backflow Prevention Day. Join us as we celebrate and honor backflow prevention professionals this August 16th. National Energy Multiplier Day. Stay hydrated and get your energy boost from this exciting blend of matcha, guayusa, and ginger. National Independent Worker Day. We're wishing a happy National Independent Worker Day to all those who are self-employed. Parsi New Year. Celebrate the Parsi New Year, also called Nowruz, with your family and friends. Restoration Day in Dominican Republic. Let's discover what Restoration Day means to the Dominicans and join them in their celebration. Royal National Agriculture Show Day. Dogwood Dogs, Bertie Beetle show bags, fireworks display, and a whole day of fun and relaxation. And St. Roach Day. Celebrate the patron saint, St. Roach, with us right here, right now. All right, that'll be the holidays for what day is today. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the 332nd anniversary of Yorktown, Virginia. It was founded. And we'll talk a little bit more about this. Here we go. Take a look at the history of this. Here we go. Yorktown was named for the ancient city of York in Yorkshire, Northern England. It was founded in 1691 as a port on the York River for English colonists to export tobacco to Europe. The lawyer Thomas Ballard was the principal founder of the city, along with Joseph Ring. It became the county seat in 1696, and although it had never had more than about 200 houses, its trade was considerable until the American Revolutionary War. It was called York until after the war, when the name Yorktown came into common use. The town reached the height of its development around 1750, when it had 250 to 300 buildings and a population of almost 2,000 people. It was the base of British General Charles Cornwallis during the 1781 siege, which was the last major battle of the American Revolutionary War. When waterways were critical to transportation, Yorktown was thought to occupy a strategic location controlling upstream portions of the York River and its tributaries and their access to the Chesapeake Bay. In his notes on the state of Virginia, published in 1781-82. Thomas Jefferson noted that the York River at Yorktown affords the best harbor in the state for vessels of the largest size. The river there narrows to the width of a mile and is contained within very high banks, close under which the vessels may ride. The population dropped in Yorktown and other areas of the mostly rural peninsula after the state capitals was relocated from Williamsburg to Richmond on the James River, attracting more development there. In addition, tobacco exhausted the soil and planters shifted to mixed crops, which require less slave labor. Many generations of younger sons migrated out of the Tidewater area to new lands further west, into the Piedmont and beyond to I can't even talk today. Kentucky, Tennessee, and what became the Northwest Territory. During the 1862 Peninsula Campaign of the American Civil War, the town was captured by the Union following the siege and Battle of Yorktown. It was used as a base by the Union Army of the Potomac under General George B. McClellan and to launch an attack on Richmond. One of Yorktown's sister cities is Zweibrücken, Germany. During the American Revolutionary War, the Royal Dau-Pont Regiment was commanded by Comte Christian de Forbach. This was one of the 4 regiments that arrived at Newport, Rhode Island, with Rochambeau in 1780, a participant on the side of Americans in the Battle of Yorktown in 1781. The other Yorktown sister is Port Vendres, France. It's from this small port of the Mediterranean coast of France that the French expedition I can't even say that because I'm expeditionary. There we go. That's better. Force left Europe to go fight the British Army in America. During World War I, to support Atlantic defenses, the federal government in 1918 acquired about 13,000 acres for development by the U.S. Navy as Mine Depot Yorktown. This large installation straddled York, Warwick, and James City counties. It has since expanded and been developed as Naval Weapons Station Yorktown. Cheatham Annex, a facility which was developed over the former town of Penniman. Penniman, yeah, I'll make sure the spelling is right, is also included as part of the base. Training Center Yorktown served as a training school for the United States Coast Guard. Also relatively close to Yorktown are Camp Peary, the Huntington Ingalls Industries, Newport News Shipbuilding, Yards and Facilities, and Fort Eustis Army Base. Other major installations in the area are Naval Station Norfolk, located at Norfolk, and Langley Air Force Base in Hampton. Take a look at everything we have. In the early 21st century, Yorktown is popular as a destination for heritage tourism. Yorktown Village, or Historic Yorktown, is located close to the York River near the George P. Coleman Memorial Bridge that spans the river to Gloucester Point. Historic Yorktown is comprised first at Water Street, a small strip along the beach of the river. It contains several small restaurants, a park, a hotel, a pier, and an antique shop. In May 2005, a building was constructed with more shops and restaurants, enhancing what is known as the River Walk section of the waterfront. Next, Main Street is located on a bluff above the floodplain. Architecture in this area is most exclusively original to the colonial area. 9 buildings, including the circa 1730 Nelson House and Somerwell's House, the old courthouse, several small shops, the Nelson House, and the Yorktown Monument are located along this road. Around the center of the town are residential streets. Grace Episcopal Church, situated on Church Street near the old courthouse, is noted for its architecture. Yorktown and the nearby area are significant to the early history of the United States. Colonial National Historical Park, which contains and preserves Yorktown National Battlefield and Yorktown National Cemetery, is located on the outskirts of town. The battlefield has many of the earthworks dug by the besieging American and French forces. The Yorktown Victory Monument commemorating the victory, the alliance with France that brought it about, and resulting peace with Great Britain after the war, is located just outside the current town, designed by New York City architect Richard Morris Hunt. The monument was installed in 1884 and topped by a figure of Liberty sculpted by John Quincy Adams Ward. That element was destroyed by lightning in 1942. It was replaced in 1957 by a figure of victory by Oscar J.W. Hanson. A memorial to the French war dead of the Yorktown campaign is being planned for construction at the French cemetery on the site of the battle. U.S. Route 17, also known as George Washington Memorial Highway, is the primary thoroughfare of Yorktown. It carries traffic via the George P. Coleman Memorial Bridge across the York River. York County has grown rapidly, and since the late 20th century, the stretch of US 17 that passes through this area has become a heavily traveled route on which numerous strip malls and commercial areas have been developed. Many of the residential areas of York County branch off Route 17 and are near Interstate 64. Little of the recent residential or business development of York County has occurred close to Yorktown. It is being protected and managed as a historical colonial village, much like Williamsburg, under the guidance of the National Park Service. Yorktown is directly accessible via Colonial Parkway, a two-line commercial vehicle-free highway that connects to Williamsburg, Jamestown, State Route 199, U.S. Route 160, and Interstate 64. The closest city, Williamsburg, is a 20-minute ride from Yorktown. As of the 2010 U.S. Census, there were 195 people living in Yorktown, down from 203 in 2000. There were 126 housing units in the CDP. The population density was 325 inhabitants per square mile. There were 126 housing units and an average density of 210 per square mile. The racial makeup of the CDP was 91.79% white, 6.67% black or African American, 0.51% Asian, 1.03% other races. In the CDP, the population was spread out with 3.08% under the age of 4, 5.64% from 5 to 17, 56.41% from 18 to 64, and 34.87% above 65. There were 101 males for every 100 females. The average income of a Yorktown resident is $42,775 a year. The median household income of a Yorktown resident is $60,192 a year. The unemployment rate as of September 2019 was 2.7%. Federally, Yorktown is part of Virginia's 2nd Congressional District, represented by Democrat Elaine Luria, elected in 2018. The state's senior member of the United States Senate is Democrat Mark Warner, elected in 2008. The state junior member of the United States Senate is Democrat Tim Kaine, elected in 2012. The governor of Virginia is Republican Glenn Youngkin, elected in 2021. Yorktown's daily newspaper is the Daily Press and Williamsburg Yorktown Daily. Other papers available to residents of the county include the Portfolio Weekly, the New Journal and Guide, and the Hampton Roads Business Journal. Hampton Roads Magazine is a bi-monthly regional magazine for Yorktown and the Hampton Roads area. Hampton Roads Times serve as an online magazine for all the Hampton Roads cities and counties. Yorktown is served by a variety of radio stations on the AM and FM dials, with towers located around the Hampton Roads area. Excuse me. Yorktown is also served by several television stations. The Hampton Roads designated market area is the 42nd largest in the U.S. with 12,709 homes. The public broadcasting service station is WHRO TV 15. Yorktown residents can receive independent stations such as WSKY broadcasting on Channel 4 from the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and WGBS LD broadcasting on Channel 11. Yorktown is served by Cox Cable, which provides LNC5, a local 24-hour cable news network. DirecTV and Dish Network are also popular as an alternative to cable television in Yorktown. Williamsburg Area Transit Authority operates a sightseeing trolley route around Yorktown on a daily basis. The Loop service has been in place since 1999. However, WATA does not provide bus service between Yorktown and any other place in Hampton Roads. Yorktown is served by commercial airports in Newport News and Norfolk, and by Amtrak stations in Newport News and Williamsburg. Yorktown is a census-designated place in York County, Virginia. It is the county seat of York County, one of the 8 original shires formed in colonial Virginia in 1682. Yorktown's population was 195 as of the 2010 census, while York County's population was 66,134 in the 2011 census estimate. The town is most famous as the site of the siege and subsequent surrender of General Charles Cornwallis, as I mentioned earlier, to General George Washington and the French fleet during the American Revolutionary War on October 19, 1781. Although the war would last for another year, the British defeat at Yorktown effectively ended the war in North America. Yorktown also figured prominently in the American Civil War, serving as a major port to supply both northern and southern towns. Depending upon who held Yorktown at the time, Yorktown is one of the 3 sites at the historic Triangle, which also includes Jamestown and Williamsburg as important colonial era settlements. It is the eastern terminus of the Colonial Parkway connecting these locations. Yorktown is also the eastern terminus of the Trans-America Trail, a bicycle touring route created by the Adventure Cycling Association. One of Yorktown's historic sister cities is Saarbrücken in Germany, based on the participation of a unit from there during the American Revolutionary War. All right, that is basically it for the 332nd anniversary of Yorktown, Virginia, founded. My word, still going on to this day. Man, that's amazing. We'll go ahead and take another commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about the 135th anniversary of the passing of Coca-Cola inventor John Pemberton. And we'll talk about that one right after this.
Hey, Lego my ego.
Lego my ego, Jessica.
Light golden Eggo waffles taste so good, it's not always easy to get your hands on one. So sometimes you have to improvise.
Lego my ego, please.
Eggo waffles from Kellogg's.
Looking for whole wheat total?
Oh, Special K.
Hope you're hungry, because you'll need almost 3 boxes of Special K to equal the vitamin and mineral nutrition in just 1 box of total.
Maybe grape nuts.
You'll have to put away 4 boxes.
Okay. Shredded wheat.
12 boxes. Total, 1 bowl, 100%. No other cereal has more vitamin and mineral nutrition.
I think I'll have Total, sweetheart. Total.
If it's whole wheat total, it's total nutrition.
California raisins from the California vineyards.
Don't you know I heard it through the grapevine?
Sounds great, doesn't it?
Mama keeps yellow dandelion. Mama keeps white, bright like the sunshine. Mama keeps blue, twinkling like a rise dew. Mama's got the magic of Clorox too.
Clorox 2 All-Fabric Bleach does more than brighten whites. It removes stains and amplifies bright colors, brings colors back to life.
Mama keeps me looking like I'm brand new. Mama's got the magic. Mama's got the magic of Clorox too.
A favorite French restaurant of mine does a filet of fish au gratin that's pure heaven. A favorite Chinese restaurant serves a sweet and sour chicken that I could eat every night. And a favorite Italian restaurant does lasagna with veal tomato sauce and ricotta molto delicioso. They're all right here in my own home. My chef is Weight Watchers. I have a choice of 25 delicious Weight Watchers dishes. I eat at home as if I were out without needing a fat dress again.
Keebler presents the appealing taste of baked potato skins in a crunchy chip.
Potato skins got baked potato appeal, because they're made with potatoes and skins that are real.
The Keebler elves make potato skin snack chips with real potatoes and skins.
Cheddar cheese and bacon, sour cream and chives, tasty baked potato.
And they finally got barbecue flavor too.
They're made with potatoes and skins that are real. Potato skins from Keebler, baked potato appeal.
And we welcome you back to DMS 3000 is live. And yet again, I am your host, Brandon Martin. And we'll go ahead and talk about the 135th anniversary of the passing of Coca-Cola inventor John Pemberton. John Stitt Pemberton was an American pharmacist and Confederate States Army veteran who is best known as the inventor of Coca-Cola. In May 1886, he developed an early version of the beverage that would later become Coca-Cola, but sold its rights to the drink shortly before his death in 1888, which we'll talk a bit more about his death once we get there. He suffered from a saber wound sustained in April 1865 during the Battle of Columbus. His efforts to control his chronic pain led to morphine addiction. He began to experiment with various painkillers and toxins. The development of an earlier beverage blending alcohol and cocaine led to that recipe that later was adapted to make Coca-Cola. Pemberton was born on July 8, 1831 in Knoxville, Georgia, and spent most of his childhood in Rome, Georgia. His parents were James C. Pemberton and Martha L. Gant. Pemberton entered the Reformed Medical College of Georgia in Macon, Georgia, and in 1850, at the age of 19, he earned his medical degree. His main talent was chemistry. After initially practicing some medicine and surgery, Pemberton opened a drugstore in Columbus. During the American Civil War, what did I say, American Revolutionary War? I just mentioned that in the last one. Oh, my word. Pemberton served in a 3rd Cavalry Battalion of the Georgia State Guard, which was at the time a component of the Confederate Army. He achieved the rank of lieutenant colonel. He met and Eliza Clifford Lewis of Columbus, Georgia, known to her friends as Cliff, who had been a student at Wesleyan College in Macon. They were married in Columbus in 1853. Their only child, Charles Ney Pemberton, was born in 1854. They live in a Victorian cottage, the Pemberton House in Columbus, a home of historic significance, which was added to the National Register of Historic Places on September 28, 1971. In April 1865, Pemberton sustained a saber wound to the chest during the Battle of Columbus. He soon became addicted to the morphine used to ease his pain. In 1866, seeking a cure for his addiction, he began to experiment with painkillers that would serve as morphine-free alternatives to morphine. His first recipe was Dr. Tuggle's compound syrup of lobe flour, in which the active ingredient was derived from the buttonbush, a toxic plant. He next began experimenting in coca and coca wines, eventually creating a recipe that contained extracts of cola nut and Damiana, which he called Pemberton's French wine cola. According to Coca-Cola historian Phil Mooney, Pemberton's world-famous soda was created in Columbus, Georgia, and carried to Atlanta, with public concern about drug addiction, depression, and alcoholism among war veterans, and neurasthenia among highly strung Southern women. Pemberton's medicine was advertised as particularly beneficial for ladies and all those whose sedentary employment causes nervous prostration. In 1886, when Atlanta and Fulton County enacted temperance legislation, Pemberton had to produce a non-alcoholic alternative to his French wine cola. Pemberton relied on Atlanta's drugstore owner and proprietor Willis E. Venable to test and help him perfect the recipe for the beverage, which he formulated by trial and error. With Venable's assistance, Pemberton worked out a set of directions for its preparation. He blended the base syrup with carbonated water by accident. When trying to make another glassful of the beverage, Pemberton decided then to sell this as a fountain drink rather than a medicine. Frank Mason Robinson came up with the name Coca-Cola for the alliterative sound, which was popular among other wine medicines of the time. Although the name refers to the two main ingredients because of controversy over its cocaine content, the Coca-Cola Company later said that the name was meaningless but fanciful. Robinson handwrote the Spencerian script on the bottles and ads. Pemberton made many health claims for his product, touting it as a valuable brain tonic that would cure headaches, relieve exhaustion, and calm nerves, and marketed as a delicious, refreshing, pure joy, exhilarating, and invigorating. Soon after Coca-Cola hit the market, Pemberton fell ill and nearly bankrupt. Sick and desperate, he began selling rights to his formula to his business partners in Atlanta. Part of his motivation to sell what was that he still suffered from expensive continuing morphine addiction. Pemberton had a hunch that his formula someday will be a national drink, so he attempted to retain a share of the ownership to leave his son. However, Pemberton's son wanted the money, so in 1888, Pemberton and his son sold the remaining portion of the patent to a fellow Atlanta pharmacist, Asa Griggs Candler, for $300, in which 2022 purchasing power is equal to $9,000. $332.88. Pemberton died from stomach cancer at age 57 in August 1888. At the time of his death, he also suffered from poverty and his worsening addiction to morphine. His body was returned to Columbus, Georgia, where he was buried at Linwood Cemetery. His grave marker is engraved with symbols showing his service in the Confederate Army and his membership as a Freemason. His son, Charles, continued to sell his father's formula, but 6 years later, Charles Pemberton himself died after succumbing to opium addiction. Ugh. Like I said, don't do drugs there, kids. It's not good for you. That's basically it for the 135th anniversary of the passing of Coca-Cola inventor John Pemberton. And let's go ahead, since we have some things, since that was a short one, let's go ahead and celebrate a happy 43rd birthday to Vanessa Carlton. Let's talk about her life and career and everything else. Vanessa Lee Carlton is an American singer, songwriter, and pianist. Her debut album, why did I say Adam? Oh, Lord. Her debut album, Be Not Nobody, released by A&M Records, received a platinum certification in the United States, and her debut single, which everyone should know, 8,000 Miles. Spent 41 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100 and earned 3 Grammy nominations. The album also spawned the singles Ordinary Day and Pretty Baby. Her next album, Harmonium, debuted at number 33 on the Billboard 200. The album marked a starwall divergence from pleasure from record label executives who wanted to influence the recording. After departing from A&M in 2005, Carlton released Heroes and Thieves in 2007. Despite minimal chart success, the album was a critical success, receiving praise from Metacritic, AllMusic, Pop Matters, and USA Today. Carlton independently produced her next 2 albums, Rabbits on the Run and Liberman, which were acclaimed by critics for both its personal subject matter and departure from her previous musical style. She released her 6th studio album, Love is an Art, in 2020, and has additionally released the EPs Hear the Bells and Blue Pool. She made her Broadway debut with a leading role in the Carole King musical Beautiful in 2019. Carlton was born on August 16th in 1980 in Milford, Pennsylvania. The first of 3 children of Edmund Ed Carlton, a pilot, and Heidi Lee, a pianist and school music teacher. She has a sister, Gwen, and a brother, Edmund. Carlton's mother comes from a Jewish family in Queens, New York. Her interest in music began at an early age. At the age of 2, she visited Disneyland and played It's a Small World on the piano, and when she came home, her mother began to tutor her. She was introduced to classical music. By the age of 9, she had become passionate about ballet, and in 1994, age 14, she enrolled at a School of American Ballet. Carlton has experienced depression and bouts of bulimia, and used her platform to open up the discussion of these often taboo subjects. After graduating, she sang in nightclubs and began to feel comfortable on stage. She later moved to New York City, where she attended Columbia University for 1 year before dropping out, and had a stint as a waitress in Hell's Kitchen. We take a look at the albums, which is 2002-2003, Be Not Nobody. Carlton met songwriter/producer Peter Zizzo at a singer-songwriter circle and was invited to his studio to record a demo. 3 months later, she was signed by Jimmy Iovine to A&M Records and began work on an album of her songs to be titled Rinse. This album was never released, but a few tracks were reworked. Again, can't even talk today. For Be Not Nobody, Wong Song Carnival was re-recorded as Dark Carnival for the video game Spy Hunter 2. Other tracks from Rinse was Interlude, Rinse, Ordinary Days, Twilight, Pretty Baby, All I Ask, and Superhero. The first 5 of these were included in her first album, Be Not Nobody, together with a cover of the Jaggers/Richards song Painted Black. Other unreleased tracks from her early demo tapes include Faces, Maggie Sue, Little Mary, Burden, Wonder, Devil Dance, and Last Fall. After hearing Carlton's demo of 1,000 Miles, A&M President Ron Fair organized recording sessions and produced and arranged the song himself. 1,000 Miles became a hit, peaking in the top 5 of the Billboard Hot 100, and went on to become the 6th most played song of the year. It garnered Grammy Award nominations for the Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Instrumental Arrangement Accompanying Vocalist. Fair produced the rest of the album. The tracks were recorded in Los Angeles at IGA Studios, Santa Monica, Henson Studios, Hollywood, and Royal Tone Studios, Burbank. Carlton played piano and sang vocals. Other instrumentation included a backing band, a 60-piece orchestra, and sitar on Painted Black. Be Not Nobody was released in 2002 and appeared at number 5 on the Billboard 200 albums chart with 102 units sold, 102,000 units, there we go, and went on to sell more than 2 million copies worldwide. 2 more singles, Ordinary Day and Pretty Baby, were released. Carlton toured the U.S. in 2002 to promote the album, opening for the Goo Goo Dolls and Third Eye Blind, before headlining her own tour at the end of 2002 and touring Europe in 2003. Carlton collaborated with other artists. Before the release of her second album, she provided the descant vocals for the Counting Crows version of the Joni Mitchell song Big Yellow Taxi, played piano for Italian singer Zucchero, along with Haley Ecker on violin for the song Indaco Dagli Ochi de Celio, and provided backing vocals for Moving On by Kim Dawson for album Hidden Vagenda. Carlton's second album, Harmonium, was released in November 2004. Harmonium debuted at number 33 on the Billboard 200 and descended quickly after selling fewer than 150,000 copies by February 2006, which was considered a disappointment after a successful debut. The album was produced by Stephen Jenkins from rock band Third Eye Blind and included darker themes than those on her debut album. Carlton and Jenkins had met and begun a relationship in mid-2002, when she and Third Eye Blind, of which Jenkins was lead singer, were on tour together. After seeing Carlton perform live, Jenkins offered to produce her music, and according to Carlton, they decided very quickly that they had the same vision for the album, Carlton credited Jenkins with helping her to withstand pressure from record label executives who wanted to influence the recording. She said later that her label wasn't very happy about the decisions she made during the making of the album. Carlton stated that the harmonium contained more of her own aesthetic than Be Not Nobody. A single, White Houses, released to radio in late August 2004, peaked at number 86 on the Billboard Hot 100. MTV censored and later banned the single's music video because of a controversial lyric in the song that refers to sexual intercourse. Carlton attributed the censoring of the song to the Super Bowl. This is a 38 halftime show controversy involving Janet Jackson, which had occurred earlier that year. She embarked on a 4-week North American concert tour in October and November 2004, with an opening act of Low Millions, and performed a second tour in March and April the following year, with Carey Brothers and Ari Hest as supporting acts. Carlton left A&M Records in mid-2005, feeling that her non-conformist attitude would create problems for her at the label. A&M Records had sent Carlton into the recording studio because they want to release Harmonium, whereas Carlton felt the album should be promoted as it was. She decided to leave the label to find another record deal once promotion for Harmonium had ended. While in the studio, she wrote songs with Linda Perry and The Matrix. In the same period, she collaborated with Italian singer Ciccio Fornaciari, featuring his song Indaco dagli occhi del cielo together, which is covered well-known, everybody got to learn sometime, together with the violinist Haley Eckert in the album Zoo and Co. In August 2005, Carlton said she was to enter the recording studio the following month with producer Linda Perry, with whom she had previously collaborated after executives at A&M Records sent her into the studio to record a re-release for Harmonium. The album was influenced by Carlton's breakup with its co-producer Stephen Jenkins. And Carlton said that one of the reasons that they remained friends was that nothing took precedence over the music. No matter what was going on in the emotional realm, all we cared about was the album. It created this kinetic environment that was kind of Fleetwood Mac. It made for better music. Heroes and Thieves was released and greeted with generally positive reviews. It debuted at number 44 on the U.S. Billboard 200. Nolita Fairy Tale was the first single and peaked at number 26 on Billboard's Adult Top 40 Tracks chart. To promote the album, Carlton embarked on a Haunted Club tour from November 2nd to November 24th, 2007. Second single, Hands on Me, was sent out to radio in February 2008 and reached number 30 on Billboard's Adult Top 40 Tracks chart. One song on the album was Spring Street, based on Spring Street in Soho in Manhattan. Carlton parted amicably with the Ink once her promotional commitments to Heroes and Thieves had passed. She contributed to a stripped-down version of the song More Than This to songs for Tibet, an album compiled in support of Tibet to draw attention to its human rights situation. On September 25th, 2008, Carlton and several other musicians and scientists departed on a 9-day trip to the Arctic Circle. On behalf of the charity Cape farewell, they worked alongside researchers for the purpose of studying climate change. Carlton had been a part of PETA's animal birth control campaign. She owns a long-haired dachshund named Lord Victor. Carlton's fourth studio album, Rabbits on the Run, was released on July 26, 2011, under Razor and Tie, the third record label she signed with, and received praise from musical critics, who particularly noted at its strikingly personal subject material. Before recording the album, Carlton was unsure whether she wanted to make another record or pursue film scoring instead. After deciding to try again, she decided that she needed to record in an ideal environment, choosing to record at Real World Studios Box, England. She chose the title for the symbolism often depicted by rabbits, time slipping, mind floating, which is something she had been relating to for the past few years. The album was further inspired by Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time and Richard Adams' Watership Down. The dreamy, fantastical sound of the album was achieved by recording direct to tape and features production by Steve Osborne. The album's first single, Carousel, was released on May 3rd. On September 19th, a tweet on Carlton's account made by her management stated that I Don't Want to Be a Bride would be the next single off the record. Via Twitter, Carlton announced that her label would not produce a video for I Don't Want to Be a Bride, instead producing one for Hear the Bells. The music video, which Carlton describes as the most revealing to date, was released on June 7th, 2012. On November 10th, a tweet made by Carlton's management announced the upcoming release of her holiday EP titled Hear the Bells on November 21st. The EP consists of 4 tracks, 2 of which were acoustic versions of Carlton's songs Hear the Bells and 1,000 Miles. Carlton announced in late 2012 that she had returned to Real World Studios to commence work on a new album with a theme of euphoria. She clarified on Twitter that Euphoria was not the name of the album, nor was it to be straightforward electronically fabricated. On a small tour in late 2013, Carlton teased new songs Willows, House of Seven Swords, A Matter of Time, Take It Easy, and Unlock the Lock. On February 28, 2014, Carlton announced that she had finished recording the 10-track album, which was to be titled Liberman. And on April 11, 2014, she reported that Liberman was being mastered. Carlton's summer 2014 summer tour, supported by Barefoot Wine Beach Project, which encouraged people to clean the beach and keep it safe for wildlife. She performed a track titled Willows to promote the events for Fox New York's TV, which she said about the trees she had loved when she was growing up. And she revealed that Liberman would be released in 2015 in an interview with CBS published on June 11, 2014. Carlton described the album as kind of lush, trippy, and beautiful. You really feel like you're falling into a rabbit hole of sounds. She said, it's pretty short. It's 10 songs. It's meant to be listened through your headphones. Liberman was positively received, and its preceding album was also praised for touching on personal subjects for the singer. Writing for the Boston Globe, Ken Bianco said the material finds her a long way from 1,000 Miles and in a better place artistically. Matthew Shipner of Pitchfork wrote that Carlton's voice is a key attraction on songs that register between low-key pop, rock, and folk. On April 20th, 2015, it was announced that Carlton had signed with Dine Alone Records to release Liberman in October 2015. Esquire premiered Young Heart, a song not expected to be included on the album, which was released as a pre-release single. On June 15th, 2015, Carlton released the song Blue Pool through Nylon Magazine's website. The song was included on the Blue Pool EP, released digitally on July 24th, 2015. The songs on the EP were part of a deluxe version of the Liberman album. On August 3rd, 2015, Southern Living premiered the official music video for Blue Pool. On August 27th, 2015, USA Today premiered the official lyric video for Willows. The album artwork for Liberman was revealed along with its release date of October 23rd, 2015. Carlton released Liberman live on October 21st, 2016. The album consisted of 8 live tracks recorded in Nashville, Tennessee while on tour. For her personal life, 2005, Carlton completed the New York City Marathon and donated the pledge money she collected to Musicians on Call, a non-profit organization that brings live and recorded music to patients' bedsides. Excuse me. On June 19, 2010, Carlton came out as bisexual while headlining Nashville Pride. She stated to the attending audience, "I never said this before, but I am proud to be a bisexual woman." On October 9, 2013, at a live performance in Bayshore, New York, Carlton announced that she was expecting her first child with her fiancé, John McCauley. In November, she announced that she had experienced an ectopic pregnancy, in which she later suffered a ruptured tube and internal bleeding. After surgery, her entire right fallopian tube was removed. On December 27, 2013, Carlton and McCauley married in a ceremony officiated by Stevie Nicks. On June 26, 2014, Carlton announced via Facebook that the release of Liberman would be delayed until the summer of 2015. Because she was expecting a child with McCauley, on January 13, 2015, Carlton gave birth to their daughter. Carlton lived in Nashville with her family until 2021. She currently lives in Pawtucket Village, Rhode Island. And we have studio albums. Got Love Is an Art. And we'll just talk a little bit about the last part. On February 17, 2017, Carlton released another live album titled Earlier Things Live via her own Victor music label. It includes 6 songs from albums that were released by pre-Liberman and were played live throughout 2015-2016. On the Liberman tour, Carlton performed a song titled Love Is an Art throughout 2017 and stated that this might be the title of her next album. She began writing songs for the album, her 6th in 2017. On December 25th, 2018, Carlton posted on Instagram saying that she would start recording the album on January 23rd, 2019. In March 2018, she began to release 1 cover song a month while she worked on the album. The first of 6 songs, a cover of Call Your Girlfriend by Robin, was released digitally March 23rd, 2018. The second, a cover of Fleetwood Mac's Dreams, was released in April 20th, 2018. The third, a cover of Neil Young's Only Love Can Break Your Heart, was released May 18th, 2018. The fourth cover, Brad Neal's Little Bit of Rain, was released on June 15th, 2018. The fifth cover, Needle in the Hay by Elliott Smith, was released on July 20th, 2018. The sixth and final cover song, Lonely Girls by Lucinda Williams, was released on August 10th, 2018. She released the covers EP as a triple vinyl collection along with the Liberman Live and Earlier Things Live EPs on November 23rd, 2018. In May 2019, Carlton was announced to be making her Broadway debut with a lead role in the Carole King musical Beautiful, performing for a limited season from June 27th. Speaking of her first time performing on Broadway, Carlton said, "It was emotional for me to get through the show the first time. It was a lot of work. It was so exhilarating and it just kind of worked out. I just cried at the end. I did it. Now I have to do it 79 more times. How is this going to happen?" Mark Kennedy of Seattle Times believed that the role marked another fascinating turn in Carlton's career. On May 27, 2019, Carlton announced via Instagram that her sixth album, produced by Dave Fridman, was to be titled Love Isn't Art. The album was mastered the same day. Love Isn't Art was released on March 27, 2020. Carlton revealed via Twitter in January 2021 that she planned to re-release the album in March 2021 with new songs and demo recordings from the album's studio sessions. And that's basically it for Vanessa Carlton's life and music of her career. And yet again, special happy 43rd birthday to you, Vanessa. Hopefully 43 treats you well with many other things and many more birthdays to come. And with that said, we'll go ahead and take one more commercial break, and when we come back, we will be doing, this is an editorial, and we'll do that right after we take time out for this. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Before you slide into that satin, before you slip into that silk, before you put on anything at all, caress. Before you dress, Caress isn't a soap. It's a body bar with bath oil. Caress can't dry your skin the way soap can. Gives you the soft you just can't get from soap. After all, shouldn't your skin be softer than anything that goes next to it? Before you dress, Caress.
If you've got a good trade, chances are you've already got a good job. If you haven't, better get one. Auto mechanic. Now there's a good trade. At Apex Tech, we've got a 6-month training program for auto mechanics. It's thorough because we work you hard. With a professional mechanic working alongside you, you tear down an engine and put it back together again, and do the same with the transmission. Carburetors, fuel injection, computer command control, electrical chassis, alignment, brakes, steering. It's all in your training program. When you complete your training, and we recommend you for a job, you've got your own set of professional tools. Give us a call. Say when you can come in to look over the shops and see what financial assistance toward your training you're entitled to from the government. Now, I can't phone you. You have to take the first step. Call 645-3300. Our switchboard is open now. 645-3300.
Ah, the Nature Valley Granola Bar. Such simple sweetness. Such enjoyable crunch. Once you come to know this wonderfully wholesome taste, you realize a Nature Valley Granola Bar could be the candy bar nature intended.
Oh, you're looking at a broken peanut. All I ever wanted was to get into a Fifth Avenue candy bar so I can be irresistible. But they don't want peanuts. They want peanut butter. Crunchy layer after layer of peanut butter smothered in Hershey's pure milk chocolate. Oh, it'll be a grind, but I'm gonna do it. After all, it's Hershey, it's Fifth Avenue, it's everything it's crept up to be. And if they won't have me, I'm gonna throw myself to the elephants.
But I've heard that being sexy is all in the mind. But I think that, it's somewhere else.
Jovan Musk.
Staying sexy is an all-day job. And for some of us, the end of the day is just the beginning.
Jovan Musk, Evening Edition. We help American men stay sexy.
Tired of losing battle after battle in the sky, the Autobots create the ultimate robot jet, Jetfire. But the evil Decepticons have a secret new weapon, Shockwave. Sold separately from Hasbro.
The bakers are here.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon and sugar, we're baking up a bunch. We're cinnamon and sugar shakers.
The bakers.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch bakers. We make Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal taste
Like homemade.
part of this nutritious breakfast.
Less sugar than I thought.
Making homemade taste. I like it. Into Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
And we welcome you back to DMS 3000 News Live. And once more, I am your host, Brennan Martin, moderator for this. And now let's go ahead and talk about, this is an editorial. Well, I got something to say about this. And I've been wanting to do that for a little while. Well, for me, I want to talk about something different here. Thankfully, it's not the negative, but I want to get this out of the way, get this off my chest. Which is parades. I gotta say this. I mean, parade's supposed to be fun and all that, right? And being a part of the parade for a long time, not gonna mention that what I was a part of out of respect. And I've been walking the parade for a long time. Since, 2011. 12 years I've been doing this, with the exception of the you-know-what. Would have been that way. But, however, because of that, it was, canceled, all that. However, people, and hello there, King Kevin Date, if you will, and a pleasant good afternoon up there in the UK. But yeah, back to what I was saying about parades. People, I always hand out some things, I want to give back to the community. I love doing that. However, this year, I seen a lot more people from last year increase more. And here's the thing I just really pisses me off the most. Where you hand out stuff and then people get into the bucket, though, to get it for themselves. It's like, it's handing out free things. I'm not going to say what it is, again, out of respect. But it's like helping themselves in a way.
I mean, the parade's supposed to be fun again, right? Not in my case, in my hometown. After people were getting into buckets and all that, and people were getting really close to the vehicles, almost getting. It's getting dangerous, though. I mean, good gosh, handle your kids and all that crap. I mean, good Lord. Handle yourselves, which, again, I am not happy for this. And it's really mind-boggling that the parents don't handle the kids. Their kids itself. I mean, that's just beyond mind-boggling in a way. I mean, good Lord. And people trying to get in, all that, and try to get in the bucket. I'm like, hey, easy. Don't do that. I'm like, this is why people who watch the parade and the adults and all that, they act like children. They act like children. I am not kidding you. To help themselves, all that. Again, where's the fun in this? I mean, this is a complete and utter BS for the fact that people wants to help themselves while we're trying to hand out free stuff to give back to the community and all that, and they want to be dingbats and all that. I mean, it's mind-boggling again. I mean, it's getting really, really ridiculous for the fact that the adults don't act like adults. They act like children. And that's really childish, though. And it really is. I'm not happy what happened this year. Hopefully, next year, I still want to be a part of it. I still do. However, they better step up with something, because at least have some military personnel try to protect the streets and all that, to not get run over by cars and all that crap. They better put a safe spot. And I'm like, in my head, where are the police at? Why they were not doing anything about that to stop them people? Like kids, little kids, mind you. They better step up, because if they don't, it means nothing at this point. It really means nothing. And that's why I want to get my point across for this, because I've been doing the 12 years of walking in the parade. I have fun doing that. It's just it's just ridiculous that people wants to do it, like to grab it for themselves. And after I got done with the parade, some people were not happy, though, and then they were doing the same. They said the same thing. I'm like, people out there are crazy, and they really are crazy. And it's just for the fact they don't have the common sense. But really gets it not there as much anymore. And they better hear me loud and clear. You better have more people out there basically cops, military personnel, all that other stuff. Have the National Guard or any type of branch, whatever that is, protecting the streets where kids don't get run over by cars, all that, vehicles. And for the adults, though, stop acting like freaking children and act like an adult for a change. Like, I know some people don't, because that doesn't surprise me one bit. And that way it was pissing me off, the fact I'm just not happy with this. And I'm just trying to prove my point across from this, because I know it's supposed to be fun, right? And again, they're not, because they're like the kids helping themselves for one. I mean, where's some parenting across, guys? Good Lord. And they better step up, because next year, they don't, like I said, it means nothing at this point. I'm done. And hopefully, I'm just going to say it, hopefully it's a better one for tomorrow's show, even though I will not be here tomorrow. However, David will be taking over for me while I'm away. However, I will be back on Friday's show. And I also got another editorial I have in mind, so you'll have to tune in to find out what that is come Friday. But yeah, with that, that's going to do it for DMS 3000 News Live. If you like this, please go and give us a thumbs up. And please like this video, leave a comment. And if you're brand new to the David 3000 Network, make sure to subscribe. And also don't forget to tap that notification bell under the David 3000 Network on your YouTube apps, so you never miss an upload or a live stream. And coming up in about 17 minutes or so, we will be having the Snowman in the Morning with the boys of Cole Johnson and Snowman. And talk about many other sports they have in mind regarding baseball, basketball, all that. Many others. But with that, you won't get to see me till Friday, but you'll get to see David tomorrow for more DMS 3000 News Live. And with that, I'm Brandon Martin. You guys have a great rest of your morning, and you have a great rest of your day. So, bye-bye, everybody.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David Dyson Network for great more content like this one.